If you don't communicate effectively, you think you have a lot of knowledge.
True.
And the knowledge cannot be transferred
True.
to the people, then there's no use. Paint is in my blood.
Yeah.
You can say this. My DNA is paint.
So you're an A student.
All A plus. So
A plus. Oh, yeah, sorry.
always been positive and rebound negativity. Because if negativity takes over, then you cannot grow.
Good evening and welcome to the Late Night Business. My name is Ian Dennis and I'm quite excited because tonight we're going to be having a very interesting conversation with one of the CEOs who has been at the helm of our listed companies for the last almost 15 years. Quite a long time, because you know, as a CEO, people never really last. But he has done that for a long period of time and has produced results. But before I get to introduce him, I want to let you know that we are at the Capital Club, the place you need to be as an entrepreneur, because the who's who is part of this particular network. At the Capital Club, there's so many different particular facilities that you can have access to. Not only the meeting room, there's the spa, there's the gym, there's a place to do events, there's everything here at the Capital Club. The guest I'm about to have a conversation with is Dr. Rakesh Rao, who's the group CEO of Crown Paints, one of the leading, or rather, they have the biggest market share in the paint industry. So, sir, thanks so much for coming to the show. I was told, I think I'd actually done my research, you don't like dark color, so I decided to go all yellow to please you.
Yeah, of course, we sell colors.
Yes.
And colors should be have many colors.
True.
Then only we can call colorful brand. So when you make a colorful brands, you have to sell a lot of colors.
So at least I'm living that particular colorful
Yes,
brand.
yes, that's important. Yeah.
As I just start off, maybe what exactly are you most grateful for today?
I think I'm grateful every day to God. Whatever God does for me, give me, when I get up in the morning, He gives me a lot of energy. Okay, and when I go to office, I have a lot of people around me give me energy also. And whatever I do every day, I'm full of energy every day, and I feel that I do more and more every day. What I can do for my companies, I can do what I can do for my employee, for my customers. Of course, when I do everything, then it comes also for myself also. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I want you just to take me through your journey, because I know before what people know you for as the CEO of Crown, you had a career before. So I want you just to take me through your career journey in terms of where exactly or maybe even before you get into your career journey, your upbringing. You grew up in India. Just take me through how exactly was your upbringing?
Yeah, I think I grew up in India. Of course, it's a middle-class family. But my grandfather was a very rich businessman. But you know, everyone has their own life cycle. So I grew up in a middle-class family, and my inspiration is my mother, which keeps on giving me the good lesson of the life and how to grow in the life and how to think, how to be positive. The one great thing about me, my life, which I learned from my mother, always been positive and rebound negativity. Because if negativity takes over, then you cannot grow, and you always become defensive, and we can say that negative in life. So if you want to grow, be positive. Always look for positive things in the friendship, in relationship, in business, job, whatever you do. What best positive things around. Automatically your negative can go away from you.
Interesting.
So that's what what lesson of my life. I was good in study always. I've been throughout merit scholar students from my middle schools up to high school, even university. I was
the bright students.
Scholar, yes. I was scholar students, and I was always studying on a scholarship. Yeah, and.
So you're an A student.
All A plus. So
A plus. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I never took help from my parents also. For most of my school's fees was financed by my scholarship.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Interesting. So which part of India did you grow up in, and how's life growing up? Because you're a bright student, but how's life growing up?
I think I grew up in central India, a city called Indore, which is one of the most beautiful city, cleanest city in India today, and you know how difficult to be.
I know.
It's a very historical place where it come from Devi earlier. It's a king, queen was ruler there, and has a very what is called touch of heritage of this city.
Yeah.
The kings, the way the kings used to live in the city and how the lifestyle and all sort of things the delicious food, people have a great heart, and being a central part is biggest hub for educations. You will find all colleges, best dental college, best medical college, best engineering college, best management college there. So it's always been a great hub for educations, and the quality of educations in central India has been always been up to standard.
Interesting. Yeah. And going through education, what did you want to be? What aspiration did you have? Because I think we were talking earlier, what was it called, off the screen, about the movie Three Idiots, which I think it's the most interesting Indian movie personally I've watched, whereby in India everybody wants to become either an engineer or a doctor. What did you want to be, or what did your parents want you to be?
Of course, the same thing. Yeah, of course. I wanted to become a doctor.
So I guessed right.
Yeah,
it's either or.
A doctor, but then my grandfathers told me, because we have a joint family, grandfather, and he told us, for doctor you need this much money, and your dad will not be able to finance that money. Make sure, because I have a sister also to look after. Not me, my father's sister also will look after. So of course, then as a family decision has been taken that okay, I should get a business. Where I get into the business, and the schooling we have to select our subject from after 8th standard. So then I went to the commerce. It's called commerce then. I did my graduations in commerce. Then after that, I thought I want to be now management. After studying and moving around the people, then I did my cost management accountancy. I started working for 3 years, 2.5 years for Tata Group of companies, and then I said, now let me do my master, because for master you require minimum 2 to 3 years experience. Yeah. So after 2.5 years, I went for my master's. I did my master's in sales and marketing. And then after that, I started moving my career to sales. So I started my career with paint industry then in India.
Oh, so you studied in the paint industry.
Paint industry. Right. So paint is in my blood.
Yeah.
You can say this. My DNA is paint.
When they cut it like this, it's color brown.
My DNA is a paint. That's why I learned my basic of business there.
As starter.
And as a starter. That's why it's for paint business become more easy for me to, because I understand the nature of people, how customers generally react, behave, and how to handle them. So you become like director of handling the humanity part and the emotion of the customer.
So after Tata, you did your masters, and then you moved to which particular company after that?
Then after that, I moved to Mitsubishi. I saw Mitsubishi.
So there, are you in sales or what?
I was in sales there. Then after that, because there I was young, so I was on a fast track.
Yeah.
Then I moved from there I moved to GE. Where I worked
General Electric.
General Electric.
What are you doing there?
I was AGM, and I saw the senior managers and GM and head of sales.
Interesting.
So most of sales marketing, my major careers in India was sales and marketing.
Interesting. How exactly was I think as you started off your career, did you ever expect that one day you'll be at the helm of an organization, or for you, you're just going through the career process?
I think, I think when I was working with GE, my bosses always used to tell me, in fact, I'm very blessed that I always got a very good support from my bosses. And because of the way I work, because of the way I pursue matters, and maybe seriousness and hard work the way I do. So I think my boss always used to give me a lot of supports, and few of them said, you can be a leader and you can run organizations, I'm sure. Because I started my career with finance, so I know a little bit finance.
Yeah.
So because of my finance backgrounds, I think for you have the multi-talented, quality, and you must, apply. Even they said not for big organizations, start with small organizations, take the leadership.
Yeah.
So I think I got a lot of encouragement from them. And when you're heading, like suppose when I was heading sales, like India is such a massive.
Yeah.
You can have 30 to 40 countries.
Yeah.
Like Kenya.
True. So, you guys are over 1 billion.
Yeah. So I handle a masses, masses, team, people, customer base. So easy for me. So for me, when I came to Kenya, it's workload which I had in India was much smaller compared to India.
Interesting. And so you're at GE. How did you get the communication that you've been appointed as the CEO?
No. It's just through consultants. Consultants. So the time when after 5 years you look for a change for senior positions.
Yes.
So of course, when you, I think most of the appointments that are done in India to consultants, and
So you went to
particular,
a consultancy agency to
yeah,
help you.
all Africa generally appointment done through consultant, because you cannot advertise in India.
True.
People do not know you. Suppose I advertise in India, okay, I looking for people. People not even look into that, which is Kenyan companies and who.
Yes.
But the consultant between us, who generally we know them and they know credential, because they know credential of the company which they work.
True.
Because they have to still verify the credential of the people. So I think this through consultant where most of the Kenyan companies are hiring the people there. So somehow I just connected with them. Yeah, but even my previous appointment to G also went with them.
Consultancy. Ah, interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
know it's a big
Consultants is
industry. Yeah.
big. Consultants is most of the time it's called recruiters.
Oh, the recruiters. Oh, yes, we call them recruiters.
Consultant or recruiters.
Yeah.
Generally they do headhunting most of the time. Yeah.
So primarily they helped you and headhunted you for this particular position that you got into. So primarily you were going through your career phases in India, and primarily you had gotten a good opportunity at GE where you're managing hundreds, I believe, hundreds of individuals and having a big responsibility. How different was it now that you got the position of a CEO of a company that's heritage rich?
No, I think it was very clear, because I was not. I was just not a head of the company. I was head of the department.
Yes, sales, yes.
And my target was to, for myself, when it was roadmap, that between by 40 to 45, I should become a CEO, even the small companies. To understand the whole.
How old are you then?
When I came, I was 42 years.
42. Oh, so you managed to get your target.
Targets, yeah.
Ah,
so,
okay.
yeah. So 40 to 45 was just my target. So luckily, I was on my target.
Interesting.
And that's why I came. So let's take the opportunity. And yeah, of course, when I saw things was on a different stage. But then I believe in turning it around. I have that confidence. Anything I can touch and I can change.
It turns around.
Yeah.
So first of all, was it your first time coming to Kenya at that particular point?
Yes, it was first time. I
So-
never been in Kenya. Yeah.
Oh, you never knew anybody in Kenya. You didn't even have a family in Kenya?
No.
Interesting. So just take me through that particular journey, especially your first days. So you've come to Kenya. What are the first things that you got to understand about Kenya as a business, what's it called, as a business hub? What are some of the things that you got to understand before you got your role?
I think when you work with sales and with the different companies, so you learn the culture from different, how to handle different type of people and all. So Kenya is emerging countries, and look at to that, the Africa and India has a common similarity of behaving same way, because they're all developing
Countries.
okay, from we have been going from lower class to middle class, then upper class. So I think nature of business of India, basically you talk about Asia, more or less like China, India, are more or less quite similar. And Africa is not very different to that, you know. Adaptability is very easy. So when you come here, it's most important for you to study the people and how they behave, whether they will accept you or not. So most important thing that you push yourself, they accept you. Once you push yourself to accept, then your job becomes easy. If they don't accept you, then it's difficult.
Interesting.
So that's what the journey starts. And I quite read a lot of books on body languages and mindset of people, which body language people behave what, and maybe I'm blessed. I can study person much faster than others.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when you got your role, you got your appointment, what was your first order of business as the CEO?
Order.
Yes. What did you do? Like you?
Oh, there were so many things to do. I
Uh-huh.
mean, if you look at the organizations, you know, when you look at the growth aspect of business, what we went with the history of the companies, and the company was growing only by 1 or 2% for last 5, 7, 8 years. Then I think any person when come from a sales background, he will keep very stretched target
True.
immediately. This is not acceptable. As a brand, you should be able to grow by 20% every year. That's what 30% every year. So yeah, as soon as I came, I achieved. I put a very high sales target. So the most important for any person, organization, is to increase the sales revenue. If sales revenue increase, everything follow. So I mean that's basic fundamental of my management when I read many management books. Yeah, of course, I did the study of my sales analysis for the last 5 years, how the company has grown, and then what is my target. So immediately I set target that we must grow at 20% this year. So when the meeting was organized, my introductory meeting to various customers, suppliers, the new CEO joined,
Yes.
you should know the face. So
Yes.
okay, few people are very energetic. Oh my God, at least now we can talk. Young man is here now compared to the old man. And at least this man look like he's pleasant man. We can talk to this guy. Look like. And then as soon as I started meeting my call with sales team that we want to grow this much percentage. They were all surprised and shocked. Well, no, we have old brands. We already have good coverage in the system. We can't grow like this. So I mean, when you meet old thought of people who have been working in the organization.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, that's what I said. Let's work together. I'm not ordering you.
Yes.
I'm not telling you to do. Let's together. So I like become salesman, start going to the market, meeting customers, try to learn what are the challenges they have. And I found there are so many challenges to run this organization. So then they start structuring everything, like supply chain was completely not there, IT system was not in place, production team didn't have enough equipments to do things, uh, processes was not right. So I mean process was very very cumbersome. So you start working from supply chain to process all the processes, and I come from the background where I've done a lot of focus, and I'm a green belt in Six Sigma. So I am basically learned process management quite a lot in GE.
Ah, interesting. And Six Sigma is literally what's it called, one of the processes that's usually being used by so many what's it
Top
called, big
organization in
organizations.
the world, yeah.
Just break it down for the audience. What's Six Sigma and how exactly do you implement it?
Yeah, I think the Six Sigma basically we are talking about one defect per million. That's called Six Sigma. So basically, what I'm saying, what are the defects you have in processes? Which process are contributing to the result of any output? Should be corrected in such a way. It should be flawless. So that's what. And when you work with large organizations, they spend a lot of time in training you. They make you like a robust manager.
True. Yes.
So of course I know the processes, and I just started working and talking with a lot of managers that okay, this process is how it does. So as soon as we learn and I was lucky. I got good cooperation from the team. They were happy also that I was coaching and guiding them.
So that's your leadership style.
Yeah, to connecting. Main is what to connect people. If you don't communicate effectively, you think you have a lot of knowledge.
True.
And the knowledge cannot be transferred.
True.
To the people, then there's no use.
Interesting.
But probably I simplify processes more easier. The way my adaptability of the person, I understand what his mind understand. Not like what I understand, what he understand. And accordingly, I customize myself, my approach, make it more easy.
Interesting. One of the things that's all about the literally term that's used in the world of business is that culture eats strategy for breakfast. And here you are, what's it called? You held your strategy, you want to implement this particular strategy, but where did you find culture? Because Crown has been there since the 50s, and primarily probably there should have been inherent culture. What was the culture there, and what did you do in order to spice it? Because I think culture is one of the biggest challenges that companies have been there for a long time face.
Culture drive from the leadership. I believe that how you behave, people will start behaving. It's a very simple thing. If you don't behave and ask people to behave, most of the time when you do the culture change, we ask people to change. We don't know to change.
Yeah.
So when you start change yourself and take people along with you, there will be, when you start any journey, there will be 10% people want to change. Other will going to reject, or they will going to create problems. But first win 10, don't win 90. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Automatically rest of 40 will come to you.
Interesting. So what kind of culture would you say that you have inculcated within the company?
I just reply in one line. Let us grow together. Either you grow or you go. It's very simple.
Interesting.
It's growth culture, simple.
And by growth you mean how do you define growth?
Any area growth. Either anything you do should have a growth. You talk about sales, you should grow. Finance, you should grow. Any manufacturing productions, you should grow. Process should be more cumbersome, more stronger, more customer friendly. Customer base should grow. Product range should grow. It's very simple. Growth for everything, you know. And there are so many dynamics, so many pillars of the growth in any organizations.
Interesting.
Yeah.
On that particular note of growth, you're going to take a short commercial break, and I'll see you after the break so that you can continue with this particular fascinating conversation with Dr. Rakesh Rao, who's the Group CEO of Crown Paints. See you after the break. So before the break, Dr. Rakesh was just taking us through his particular exemplary career from India until where he came to Kenya, whereby he has been the CEO for the last almost 15 years, and some of the magnificent work that he's done as the group CEO. Primarily, let me just, because everybody wants to become the CEO. Not many are going to attain that particular, title that is much beheld, because there's only one person and you've stuck at it for the 18 years. I can try to imagine still not so many within the group are going to get that. But what are some of the privileges that being a CEO has given to you, and what are some of the, this particular position helped you influence?
I think it's helped you, first of all, when you at CEO level, the most important thing, your recognitions, and when you represent big brands, so it's give a lot of social value. So social value is big today in the market today. If you talk about as a person, me in my Indian community, you talk about African community, so at least I've been recognized. And any person, social person, you know, you feel honored when people recognize you. I mean, that's called self-satisfaction, you can say self-ego. You feel happy, you feel great about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And as a CEO, how does your day-to-day look like? How does your normal day, maybe a weekday looks like for you? How does it look for you?
I'm very scheduled, a very tight schedule. Most of the time, I start my day early morning, 7 o'clock minimum. I start my yoga.
So 7? Oh, you're in the office or?
No. I started 6:30, between 6:30 and 6:45. I start doing my yoga. Basically, I do my meditations to make sure that every day I meditate. Okay. Then
you meditate for how long?
I meditate like 30 minutes. 30, 35, 40 minutes, depend. And then I start my day. I don't take breakfast. I do intermittent fasting.
Why? You want to reduce weight or what?
Yeah, reduce weight. I feel that to be fit is better not to eat breakfast. And 2 meals a day is make you more fit. That's what you feel more energetic.
Ah, okay, interesting.
Yeah. And then of course the schedule is there with various meetings, and whenever I get little time, I always call my customers and try to stay connected with my customers. I also golfer, so I play golf on Saturday weekend sometimes, and make sure once in a week I also practice. So I
practice golf.
Golf, yeah. I shine my golf because I play golf. I play golf, competitive golf. I just don't just go for a walk. So I like to make sure I improve my golf. Yeah. Then my social networking, plus my visiting various institutes like for temples and where I know more people. I create a social value in such a way for me which help my brand to have a social value, to increase the social value of brand. Because nowadays brand is not only marketing.
True.
The most influential factors today of influencing brand is social value. So what social value, what CSR, what the brand connected to humanity.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I also got to learn that you're very big in matters CSR and giving back to the community, which is a value that you hold. What are some of the elements around CSR that you've actually done and maybe committed to as yourself and also as a company?
I think there are 3 pillars which we are working on that. One is schools. I'm very passionate about schools and children because came when I came in 2006 or 7, and when one of the schools, someone pushed me to visit schools. You know, please help us to donate some paints. And I saw, my God, schools in such a bad shape. So I said, it looks like a government school. Well, yeah, but the government do not have money. What are the reason that? So I said, the guy who knows chairman, I think came from bank background. So and he told me, Mr. Rao, can you help to paint the schools? I said, yeah, we'll try. So I painted the schools, and the schools was in Kikuyu, and school was looking so beautiful. And the school where the children were coming, like say 50%, and after the painting school, the 90% attendance.
Interesting. Oh, so the impact it has.
The impact was huge. Yes. So the principal of the schools and the person who was coordinating, he called me. He said, "No, Mr. Come, please come and see happiness of children, what you did for children. I think you must come. And it will really get you will also get blessing." So I went to one of the Saturday and seen the schools, and they really arranged a lot of programs, entertainment programs. Children were dancing, children were happy, and it was giving me immense pleasure, and I can see that this is children's going to be the future of Kenya. And I believe that if you build a children's from the childhood, of course Kenya can transform. Kenya can have better citizens, and better citizen can build better nation.
True.
And that's why I've taken the big CSR. Many schools, we have more than 150 schools have been painted like that in the last 15 years.
That's very interesting.
Then many orphanage houses, we are working on that. That's also very important for us, because there are certain orphans that do not have money. So I think most of the time we spend time with the childrens to make them grow, or like as either schools or as we to feed them. So that's one of the areas where we quite focus. One of the areas here, golf, we do a lot of junior golf foundations. We have promoted this junior golf for last 10-15 years.
And also saw you involved for Magical Kenya too.
Yes, we have, because see, it's very simple. Kenya, as a wish, is the way we've been doing our businesses. Kenya cannot be top countries in golf destinations. Of course, we do not have that infrastructure of America, but we have a lot of heritage of various wildlife. The combination of golf and wildlife can be a very lethal, proposal for the people to bring them. So that's why when the club has approached us, I said, let's do things. I hope that more tourists will come to the country, more people will come and golf. Of course, tourism is one of our big industries, so it will help tourism to get more business opportunities and revenue to the country.
Interesting. I was just doing a research on you, and I think one of the biggest elements that you say has been a regret to your life is not ever getting to start a business of your own. So you've managed businesses, you've gotten to the helm of businesses, but why didn't you, probably at any particular point, decided to start your own?
I think the various stage of life where you think that most of the time, we are family-driven people, where we don't want our family to suffer. Starting business and getting suffer, and then sometimes
so business makes us suffer.
Sometimes, it's always been yes or no.
Yes.
You can be, you cannot be, and sometimes the financial problems comes, and then when you're used to one lifestyle also, and the children are expecting certain lifestyle, just to turn it around is very difficult.
True.
And then let's not go to hell and from heaven to hell unnecessary. That's what I believe. So it can be heaven, it can be hell. You don't know.
True, it can be heaven or hell. Depends on how exactly you go.
Depends what you are. So I think probably it's just that. But then you enjoy the way you do crown business. Of course, my chairmen and family is giving me free hand. So I always like that it's my own business, whether I'm a salaried man or what. But I always feel that I own this brand, I own these companies, and that opportunity is given by my chairmen and my family, which I represent. So I think I lost that interest. I'm doing same thing what I'm supposed to do,
but probably on a bigger level.
Yeah.
And what's been the secret behind you being at the helm for all these years? Because it's a long period, and I know not so many get to suss. Even in football, let me use football as an analogy. There are so many coaches this season who have been fired. I don't know if you watch football, Premier League, but there are so many coaches who are being fired. It's very difficult for a coach to remain, or rather a leader to remain at the helm for a long period. How have you managed to do that?
Coaching is a different issue, and running organizations is a different issue.
True, I'm using it just as an analogy. Yes.
You sustain the organization growth, you sustain the financial performance of organizations. For example, when I came, this company was doing like 1.2 billion turnover. Now, this year we'll like to close 13 billion.
Oh.
So we've grown time to time. We've grown like 13 times. So definitely, when you see the brand is growing under the leadership of someone, and probably he's been passionate about the brand, he knows what to do. Definitely, it's always to have a stability in the senior management can bring more stability to the brand. The sports is win and loss. You once you lost, you become here. Win and loss, nothing happen. You have to sustain the business performance and financial performance. So I think game and of course when you play, I always say you play to win.
Yes.
Okay, but when you do business, you make sure that you sustain, you have a sustainability, and you grow your model every year.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And what's been, because probably it looks like it's always been rosy all through, because you've managed to experience like times 13%, times 13% growth through that particular period of time. But what's been the most turbulent period during your tenure?
I think it's very difficult to say, because see what happened as soon as turbulence comes, the way when you're in flight,
Yes.
the people say turbulence coming, please make sure you belt yourself.
True.
So I feel that when the turbulence came, we always prepare ourselves well in time, and we could able to manage the situations. We sell through.
What are
most
some
of
of
the
those particular seasons? So I know
like
COVID
by
was one.
2008
Yes.
was worldwide turmoil, and there was worst time for any economy. Somehow we have work on our cost cutting measures, process improvements. Wherever we say fine, let's make the improve our performance, increase our profitability by 5%, doing various management practices. So time to time we bought best management practices like TQM, total quality management, Six Sigma, Kaizens, all the process improvements, and improve the productivity throughout.
Interesting.
So you understand, when you productivity improves, you control the cost and you increase the profitability. So still you cannot meet your profit target, but you manage your cost so you don't hurt your profits.
Interesting.
So I think the combinations of revenue and sales growth and the profitabilities, I think throughout a brand, because of we are able to manage and sustain for many years.
Interesting. One of also the copulars I was just going through it is that your expansion into East Africa. So initially your main operations were in Kenya, but you decided to go into East Africa. And I know there are different dynamics in Uganda as is in Tanzania. So how did you go about this particular expansion? And what are some of the interesting dynamics that you faced being in these particular different countries?
I think, yes, you're right. There was a lot of challenges.
Yes.
So initially we suffer losses there. But anything, I say sometimes you take time to understand the people, market dynamic. Because market pricing is different. Kenya is much ahead in the consumption of premium product range, and Uganda, Tanzania, all are more economy range brand. So I think we took time to settle down. But I think
which country did you start with?
We started with Uganda first to get entry in Congo and Sudan. So Uganda we gone, then we started with Tanzania, and then we started Rwanda also. So yeah, of course there was a difficult turbulence time that day because we are understanding the market dynamics. But of course, as a management, we keep consolidating ourselves, what we did wrong and what to correct, what need to correct now. Next, what is next? Yeah. What happened, what is next? And that's what probably we put our cards in such a way that every next actions and strategy is moving in the right direction for the organizations.
What are some of the lessons that you learned out of it? Because I know primarily, especially sitting where you're sitting, primarily maybe the board may be giving you pressure, you want to expand, you're experiencing losses, but what are some of you need to get profit, what are some of the lessons you learned maybe through that particular pursuit of expansion?
I think sometimes, you have to be patient of certain market dynamics. You have to set your mind, your growth mindset. You have to continue thinking positive way. Of course, there's a time where things people can go against you, but you have to show a right picture to the growth picture to the people.
Yeah.
And then how good you are in talking and convincing, and people do understand the facts and body language. When you have a right facts and we talk with confidence, you people start believing in that.
True.
I believe that the biggest lesson that you never give up. Keep trying, and I'm sure that you will succeed. I always say, the word called fail, and I define fail is first attempt in learning. So yeah, we first attempt, we learn, next attempt we're going to succeed.
Interesting. And you've also gone into Tanzania, what most companies, especially in Kenya, consider it one of the most challenging countries to work with. How did you go about it? Because I know most guys open in Tanzania, close. It's quite difficult.
I know. That's what I'm saying, to understand the mindset of people and put the right strategy. So I think Tanzania operation, though, last 3 years we have consolidated in a such a way that the market cut the cost. Way the Tanzania is a very large country, so the cost management was a big issue there because to manage costs at different locations. So we have consolidated. We took a call.
Yes.
Sit together with the various professionals and then as a team work together and find what is to be consolidations. So consolidations, that what is going to be leaking point, where we have leakages. Leakages, theft, stealing, cost of operations.
Yeah. So
you plug those points.
So streamlining your operations.
Streamline operations. So we cut our cost of operation in Tanzania by 40%.
Wow. Interesting. Something I also learned about you, and this just besides business, you're very big on marriage. You're very big on family values. I saw one of your quotes is like, you just can't wait for your son to get married. We were joking earlier. Why is that? Why is marriage important? Why do you, why are you an advocate for it?
I think marriage brings stability in life. I personally believe that. And then, you will not be free bird. So you become more responsible. People become more responsible, country become more responsible. It's very simple. And I think the fun is not staying alone. Fun is staying together, staying in a family. That time which you enjoy with family, the enjoy with the kids. And I personally feel that the best time of my life, marriage, I playing with children's, getting out with them. And waiting for them when they come from the schools and to hug them and talk to them, fight with them for study, homework. I mean, that's time which probably is one of the best time I believe, when they're growing up. Of course, after 17, 18, they become own by independent. But I believe that when you come home, the family brings a lot of togetherness and happiness. You forget your stress, what is going on. 3 hours with children, you forget everything. So you need to have a part of life. One is your office stress, come to home, work with family, spend some time with family, go out with them. So it's bring a more multi experience in life, and I think life become more colorful.
and probably because considering your position, it's quite busy, and sometimes I don't know, how do you go to manage work-life balance that you always talk about? Because I believe there's sometimes you may desire this, but primarily maybe because of your role, you may not be able to. So how have you managed to go through this during a particular?
I think the way art of delegations. I believe that many times you keep stress and you don't delegate. My way of leadership, I delegate very fast things. So I don't keep anything in my hand. On my desk, there's no paper. I'm a deskless man. I delegate, so I keep less stress and give transfer pressure to the others who my leaders are, and I supervise them. I mentor them how to manage the job, because throughout my life I did the same thing with my boss. How my bosses mentor me, I use same practices. That I think I believe in giving delegation and authority to the people, authority to execute.
Yes.
So of course the leader job become easy.
Interesting. You're now 60. You've seen a lot of life. I've literally half your age.
60 is nothing. I'm still young. I'm 10 years younger now. When I become 60, I told my team, I'm 10 years younger now. My energy has become 10 years more now. I have more energy when I was 50.
But looking back, maybe what are some of the maybe 1 or 2 lessons that you've actually gained from your experiences in your journey? What are some of the 2 or 3 lessons that you can actually share to the audience?
I think most important thing is stay focused. What you want to achieve, you will always have a challenge. A lot of distractions will come in life. But you stay focused, you make sure you rebound all distractions and make your plan. If you decide you will, the all problems start disappearing one by one. But if you start counting one problems and start thinking about it, you will never able to grow. So always stay focused.
Interesting.
Number two, be healthy. It's very, very important that of life, that if you want to have a higher productivity, higher energy, you have to be healthy. So follow best practice of the health. Maybe do yoga, exercise, gym. Third is stay afloat in learning, because learning should not be stopped at any age. Because most of the people say, I'm CEO, what I need to learn. But today I say learn. I learned small things from small people. Keep on learning and keep on, we always say, sharpen your saws, your knowledge. Then I think emotional intelligence, to master emotional intelligence. Do understand people mindset. Put yourself in the shoes of people. And then if you connect people, your growth prospects will become more easy to manage people. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. So before you get to wind up the show, I have several questions. This is like a quick fire. So I'll ask you a question, and then whatever comes to mind, you can just quickly answer it. You have 90 seconds.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
Freedom or money?
Freedom.
Sleep on the right side of bed or the left side of bed?
Left side.
So wife sleeps on the other side.
Yeah.
Do you sleep with your socks on or your socks off?
Without sock.
Coffee or tea?
Nothing.
Music or quiet?
Quiet.
Go to a concert or to a sporting event?
Sporting event.
What did you last search on Google?
Last Google was the best hotel in Masai Mara for my next trip to Masai Mara.
Interesting. Can you do a funny impression of someone?
Yes,
Who?
with my wife.
Do the impression.
Yeah.
That's what your wife does.
She laughed when I do like this. Yeah.
Yes. What's your hidden talent?
My hidden talent is I can study people better than anyone else.
What fashion trend do you wish will disappear forever?
What fashion?
Trend do you wish can disappear forever?
Maybe wearing these jeans. The people wearing the short jeans.
The torn jeans?
Yes.
You don't like it?
Half of your body is not seen.
And then the final question, if you could make one wish come true right now, what will it be?
What, sorry?
If you could make one wish come true, what will it be?
My son getting married.
Yes, sir. You're so much on his case. How old is he right now?
He's 28 now.
28. We should organize.
Yeah.
We should plan. I should be that particular committee. If he doesn't, we should by fire, by force. And then just as you wind up, primarily, what's next for you? You've done it all. You've gone through the corporate ladder. You are at the top. You're the CEO right now. You've achieved all that you could. What's next for you?
I think next, what probably after a few years when I get retired, I think I would like to set up a lot of CSR. I have a lot of CSR goals where I can able to connect with a lot of youth to make sure that I can transfer the leadership quality to them, how they can become a better leader, how to manage themselves. Helping children's basically where they have a challenge of life, they lost their parents, they don't have parents, so how can I able to help an orphanage to be able to make them some solid, even I don't mind, I able to make some of the orphanage where they can become a top golfers or top performers and top CEO, because sometimes you see this CEO has come from this orphanage house, so I think those are my dreams, which I can able to turn transformations of certain life of certain people.
Interesting. Wow, I've really enjoyed the conversation with you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having come to this show.
Yeah.
And wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much.
I hope you're not retiring anytime soon. We still need you around to paint our lives. That was Dr. Rakesh Rao, who's the Group CEO of Crown Paint. Thanks so much for having come to the show. As we come to the end of this particular show, I'd like to let you know that if you're an entrepreneur out there and you want to be part of the best network that there is within Nairobi and also across the world, you should be a member of the Capital Club. My name is Ian Dennis, and you can follow me across all social media platforms at Ian Dennis Network, at KTN Home, so we can keep the conversation going on. Until next time, I'll see you right here on the Late Night Business.